Hi there, I'm Dmitry, CEO and co-founder of GeoPard. In this short video, I would like to show you what is GeoPard and explain how it can help to streamline agronomic workflows. GeoPard is a precision agriculture platform that helps to analyze and visualize any kind of georeferenced farm data. Precision agriculture basics that each field is heterogeneous. There are zones with high and low yield productivity, and with variable rate technology and precision agriculture, you are able to manage this heterogeneity, reduce costs of seeds, inputs, crop protection, and in general have more yield, on average about 10%. What we built in GeoPard. GeoPard is a horizontal platform that allows to manage, store, analyze, visualize, and automate any kind of analytics related to satellite imagery. We analyze data 30 years history from Landsat, Sentinel, Planet, also adding radar data into our data pipelines. It is possible to connect and upload into the system yield data from soil scanners like soil optics, geoprospectors, data from soil laboratory, agrochemical analysis. We also connected to our system the best available data sources of topography data, for example, where LiDAR data is available in United States, in United Kingdom, some other countries. Then we process LiDAR data. We build in automated manner models, 3D models as well. We're working on adding analytics of drone imagery in our system. And with GeoPard Engine, it's possible to configure without any code development necessary from our side or from your side. Totally automate creation of prescription maps for precision agriculture variable rate technology based on multiple data layers. For example, you can create variable rate application maps for seeding based on your soil organic matter plus 15 years of satellite imagery history and slope maps. Also, we give recommendations about where to scout your fields, and logic could be adjusted, but default logic could be something like historical. I have good yield, good field potential in this zone, but this year for some reason I have issues, and this immediate trigger to create scouting task for your worker. Also, we benchmark fields, sort them by heterogeneity, by productivity, and create some kind of complete field profile or digital twin of any field in the world. Also, we're working hard on creation of models for sustainability, regenerative farming, carbon analytics. That's ongoing development, and all the GeoPard analytics is available via API. It means that you can install it, you can use our analytics in your own software. We're happy to work with other agtech companies, and we provide API, we provide widgets integration, we also provide white label solution mostly for other type agribusiness like ag input corporations. Have mobile applications, web applications, ag machinery, and equipment is something where you can upload any maps from GeoPard, and we're compatible with most of modern formats like shapefile, ISOBUS, ISOXML, and others, GeoJSON. And I will very quickly show you what is GeoPard. Here's an example of a field. You can see this field is located in the United States, Corn Belt. You can very quickly see vegetation history of the field. You have vegetation starting from 1988 for any field. You can switch from yearly to monthly view. It can give you some idea and decipher what's going on in your field. History of your field, for example, if cover crops were planted or not, etc., etc., and you have access to all the data. By default, we provide satellite monitoring data, history of it, we provide topography data, and we create some maps, for example, field potential maps, and maps of different types of analytics. And field potential maps could be created based on different logic, but by default, our logic that we generated an algorithm that allows you to get something almost immediately without having any yield data. You have picture of a map of any field that correlates with yield data, and you see like zones with high productivity and low productivity. They're very, very similar, and GeoPard generates in totally automated manner. It's patented by our system, and this stacked picture of images could be used many purposes. It is a good basis for starting of planning of soil sampling. It's basis for starting to measure your carbon. It could be basis to create prescription maps for variable rate seeding, variable rate fertilizing. And of course, GeoPard allows you to manage more types of data, yield data, soil data, as planted, as applied data. Any data layer could be visualized. Out of any data layer, you can create prescription maps. You can create prescription maps in multi-layer approach. That means that you can use several data layers and create maps out of them. And here I will show you a quick example. Also, we build topography maps from GPS machinery and from LiDAR. Totally automated man. GeoPard is a very, very automated tool. And you can see, for example, you have soil data, let's say soil organic matter, data points, plus processed means that we automatically create a picture which shows you distribution of your field. And you can check also satellite monitoring data. Here, for example, latest image from Sentinel satellite from European Space Agency, and you can choose different vegetation indices. You can check, crop it by field boundary if necessary, for example, visually compare data layers. So GeoPard is a one tool where you can do almost everything you need really to make improvements into your agronomic practices. So it's for professional agronomists, it's for precision agriculture specialists, for geospatial specialists in agriculture. We have a lot of great models for detection of cloud shadows, models for detection of field potential, etc., etc. And here you can very quickly investigate what's going on your field. Why do I have low potential zones, high potential zones? All these data layers are totally synchronized, and you can also, for example, say that, okay, I want to see zones, how my aggregation of several yield data sets look like, and we do it in semi-automated manner. It means that some rules you can adjust. You can see legend of any field, how it was created, legend of any data layer. And here you can see that, for example, when I created this analysis, I gave weight of the latest yield data 3 times more than the previous year, and it's totally flexible. It's up to you to decide what to do. We do not provide recommendations. We do not say what to do, but you can create your own automated recommendations in GeoPard. Also here I will quickly show you how you can create 3D maps. As a basis, you can choose topography or also other data layer. It could be yield data, it could be soil data, for example, levels of your organic matter. Here I will choose LiDAR data. Since this field is located in the United States, we have access to LiDAR data as a basis for 3D map. And on top of this LiDAR data, I will put aggregated yield from 2 yield data sets. So you do not need any extensions, any third-party plugins to run this kind of models. It's totally created only in your browser, and you can see like you have 3D model where you can say, okay, you can exaggerate it a little bit artificially to help you to understand better what's going on. And you can see that you have watersheds, you have slopes. This tool can really help you to understand field better and in a totally remote manner investigate what's going on your fields. Also in GeoPard you can create maps, and to create prescription maps there are many different logic could be applied. You can draw polygons manually or multi-polygons manually. You can use single data layer, for example, levels of organic matter or yield to create maps. You can also use our field potential maps algorithm, which is patented by GeoPard, and we in totally automated manner create field potential maps. You can use multi-layer analysis, which is very interesting stuff. It means that you can choose several data layers in GeoPard. We can also recommend you images to take into analytics. You can see that for last 10 years GeoPard recommended just 5 images, and you can see that for all time we will recommend 17 images. Each of this image you can check to be sure that there are no clouds, no shadows. Of course we also detect clouds and shadows automatically, but it's up to you to check it. And you can also deselect, and you can create an image and say that okay, I want to use another image. In this example, here's imagery from Landsat, 30 meters resolution, but you see that 30 meters resolution was improved by GeoPard. We'll also apply our artificial intelligence models to make pictures smoother and look more natural. And also, as an example, you can aggregate satellite monitoring data with yield data. For example, you can say, okay, I want to also take into analytics and create prescription maps, not just based on yield satellite monitoring data, but also yield data. And on top of this, you can say that, okay, I believe that topography is important as well. And I can say that slopes, for example, are important, and my hypothesis here would be that on higher slopes I would probably have a lower yield. Soil erosion and other reasons. And here, for example, you can see, okay, I have a little bit higher slopes here. I go next. You can set weights for each of the data layer. It means that weight is just a proportion. It means that you can say that okay, satellite imagery is 3 times more important, or vice versa. In future we will also add here capability to put your own equation. It means that you can write in Python any equation and create prescriptions based on if-else rules or other rules, and it will be also much more flexible. I give some name, imagery plus yield plus slopes. And also I want to say here that higher slope means lower field potential, right? Then I just put negative number here, and that's it. Also you can use different types of classifications. This is used in geospatial analytics. Types of classification. Do you want to classify it by equal areas, equal intervals of values, or natural breaks? By default we use natural breaks, and you can adjust minimum polygon area, because probably you don't want to have very small polygons. And let's say that okay, I want to have polygons like this. So if you usually up to 1 minute to wait, even if you run multi-year analysis, we automatically scale our application independently on how many analyses are created. At the moment, our solution is very scalable. And while it's calculating, I will quickly show you a few more models we have in the system. So you can create prescription maps for any of out of any map, and with it is possible to create prescription maps for seeding, for fertilizing, for crop protection, growth stages regulators. You can add up to 3 products in the system. Also we have a simple but strong calculator you can put price of your products, and GeoPard automatically calculates the price of the product per zone and for the whole field. Okay, it's still calculating. Okay, it's done. Great. And you can see I have zone. If you remember here, it was quite high slope, and I received low potential zone here. And you can go now to assigning of rates page. In assigning of rates, it's also possible to modify zone. You can aggregate some zones. For example, you can say that out of 7 zones you want to make just 5, and it means that you can just merge zones together. You can click here, add entire polygon, and I would say that I want to aggregate zone number 1 and 2, and I just click here, and you see all orange zones became red. And I would say also that I want to aggregate zones number 6 and 7. So like this. Have a little bit more bigger zones, and it will be easier for spreader or for variable rate seeder. Also, you can set products. You can say that, okay, it will be used, for example, for fertilizer. You can say in which units you want to apply. You can set also price per unit. And let's say, okay, first let's merge zones. Okay, zones were merged. Zones were merged, and after they are merged, you can set price, and you can set rates. Once done, it's also possible to create some pins for scouting or for soil sampling in the system. We're working on automation of this process. It will be possible then say to GeoPard how many scouting points or soil sampling points you want to create, but currently it's manual. That okay, just can add title, you can add photos, up to 5 photos, and it's all also synchronized with mobile application. It means that in mobile application, which I will show a little bit later to you, you can see all the data layers. You can have your GPS location, you can read and load maps. It works in totally offline mode. Yeah, this map is ready, and you can export it. You can export it in shapefile, as multi-polygons, as polygons, as XML, and it's this map is ready. One more example I will quickly show you that you can create intersections of different data layers. In GeoPard, you can also create maps, which we called variability, or let's say maps that allow you to track vegetation changes. You can select many satellite images and see zones where you have the biggest variation of your vegetation. And on these zones, you can try to understand. In this example, this field from Brazil, and sugarcane is planted here. And you can find intersections between, for example, highest variation and lowest yield potential zones, or highest variation and lowest latest satellite imagery. It can give you some idea, for example, to totally in remote manner find potential zones where you can have nematodes, and you can create then scouting points and tasks for your workers, for scouters, to check if nematodes are right there. Trigger could be that, okay, I have some zone where vegetation performance decreased from year to year for some reason. I don't really know why, and unfortunately right now using only remote sensing it's impossible to say if there are really nematodes or something else, but this could be a good trigger really to check, and it will help you to reduce a lot of time and costs on scouting of fields. Yeah, that's probably it about GeoPard, and also you can have such a detailed view of your vegetation. Each data point here is a satellite average vegetation. Here it's uses NDVI, but by default we have in our system 12 vegetation indices. So GeoPard is an ultimate tool to manage any kind of georeferenced farm data, visualize, analyze, automate your analytics, find correlations between different data layers, find intersections between different data layers, create field potential zones in automated or semi-automated way, and enjoy, prioritize, understand which fields to target first, from which field I need to start to implement precision agriculture. Thank you very much. Hope it was useful. Keep it in touch. Bye bye.